Hello guys, Davinator right here, and today we got another video for you, and holy crap, people hate Fantastic Four so much. This movie is just getting trashed all over the place on the internet. Everyone just is calling it worse than the first two Fantastic Four, well technically first three Fantastic Four movies. Just people are saying that it's as bad, if not worse, than Batman and Robin. No, it's not that bad, but I can understand the hate. But really, this isn't going to be a straight up review. It's mainly just going to be me talking about the main problem with this movie, because I do not think this movie is good. It's just kind of okay, and I definitely don't think it's as awful as people say it is. But really, I'm not going to get into like the plot or other things like that, just because it's Fantastic Four. You should probably know the plot by now. Fantastic Four is a pretty popular comic book series. You've probably seen the other movies. You know the plot by now. You get the basic idea, even if you don't know the specifics. Really, I'm just going to talk about the huge, massive, fundamental problem with this movie. Because you see, I was enjoying this movie for the first 40 to 50 minutes or so. I mean, I was like, not that much is happening, but I'm pretty sure this movie is, it's going to pick up pretty soon. It should be good. I was enjoying it, and then something happened, and it completely botched the flow of the movie and just really brought the movie down several letter grades. This movie has no middle, no second act at all. There's just, there's the beginning, the first act, which is stretched out to be like an hour long. It's not a great idea when your movie's only 100 minutes long, and including end credits. And then, you have the third act, which is like 20-30 minutes long, and it's very poorly structured. But, I mean, the third act, the fact that it's poorly structured, that's nothing in comparison to the fact that there is no second act or middle to this movie. Okay, now, if you're trying to make, like, an art house movie or some sort of stylized movie to where the plot is told out of order in some different, unconventional way, that's fine. But this is a linear narrative movie. You need to have the beginning, middle, and end. This movie doesn't have the beginning. It doesn't have the middle. It has the beginning and the end. It's movie. You're missing something. That was a terrible decision for them to go. Like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get into spoilers here. If you want to see the movie, I wouldn't really recommend it. Just wait till it comes out on Redbox and watch it then. But getting into spoilers now, so spoiler warning. Okay, when Reed Richards leaves the facility, and after they all, of course, get the powers, and he leaves the facility. I understand why he did that. He's trying not to get hurt by the scientists or get experimented on. Self-preservation and all that jazz. Whatever. Okay, I don't understand, but really, it just screws up the flow of the movie. Cause like there is a second act to this movie. You know what the second act is? The entire 1 year period that is skipped over after Reed Richards leaves. It just skips to 1 year later. That entire 1 year that you don't actually see in the movie is the second act of the movie. And the third act of this movie just really does not work, because you're supposed to care about these characters, you're supposed to care about the stakes, and you don't, because you didn't have any character development to know them as they are now, as superheroes, or aspiring superheroes, I guess. And so you don't care about the Thing, you don't care about the fact that, the Thing, or Ben Grimm, whatever, Jamie Bell. You don't really care about the fact that, he's estranged from Reed Richards now, and is mad at him. He's like, oh, you abandoned me, and I'm mad at you now. You don't really care, because you don't have the second act to feel bad for the Thing. And, I didn't care about the characters, and while the actors did technically do a decent job, and some of the dialogue and banter between them is okay, it's written, it's kind of funny at times, there's some decent humor here and there in this movie, you just don't care, because there's no character development, or not enough that was required, because also just Jamie Bell was hardly in the movie at all, really. Like, he's not even there for the majority of the first act, and he just shows up in the third act, and, whatever. It's just, it doesn't even matter. He's insignificant in this movie. And, like, when you see that, like, security footage or, like, helicopter view footage of, like, on computer screens of the Thing wrecking tanks, I was like, oh, that would have been cool to see. for more than 10 seconds on a crappy computer screen, but no, okay, yeah, fine, no, it's not fine. There's no action in this movie hardly at all. And what action there is not very good. Like that action that you see on those computer screens with like the thing tearing into that tank and like ripping it apart, that is cooler than the finale of this movie. And it's just like there's no especially cool choreography or anything, and the special effects are kind of bad, and you don't really care about the stakes. It doesn't even matter. You just don't care. But really, yeah, that's just my main problem with this movie. That was a terrible direction for them to just literally cut out the middle of this movie. But anyway, and you know the rating that I would give it, I guess this technically does count as a review. The rating I would give it is a C, and well, I guess I'd give it a gore rating too. 2 out of 7. I mean, you know, Victor Von Doom. You know, he's telekinetically slamming people into walls and like their heads smacking into it, and you know, there's like actually brain and blood splatting on the wall. It kind of surprised me to see that in PG-13 movie. And I would touch on Victor Von Doom just being a terrible villain, but like we all know that by now. Just no one thought that he was going to be a good villain anyway. He definitely wasn't. But anyway, guys, if you like this video, please rate and comment and subscribe. And if you want to, you can also share. Get out of my face.